Hey guys, good morning. Turn my butt heater on here. It's kind of chilly this morning. Winter is on its way. I have no idea how related this is to any of my prior videos because I'm literally just talking on my way to work about things I've learned in my life, skills I've learned, lessons I've learned, in the hopes to be able to, help other people, because it's a journey and every single one of us is in a different place. Even if we're in a similar place, it's still different. But a lot of the lessons that we have to learn through life are the same. And if we don't learn those, it's really hard to have a quality life, because you are just always running from one thing to the next, trying to make or keep yourself safe. And, if you're dependent on other people for that, you're going to have a real bad time. So what I'm here to do is, share what I've learned, what I know, what I've experienced, in the hopes that maybe, it'll be useful to somebody else. So, this channel it's not about me, this talking about this stuff. It's not about me. It's about the human experience, lessons we've all got to learn, whether we learned it in the home or whether we're learning it out of the home as adults, as young people. Life doesn't really discriminate. So I used to be really, really unstable and in a way kind of really unsafe for the people I cared about, because I was in a situation where I was not safe. So, I was looking to others to provide that safety for me, and it did not produce a healthy dynamic, because, like I said, when you look to others for that safety, it doesn't work very well. People can provide it, but you want to have that internal sense of security. You want to have that internal empowerment first and foremost, because you're not always necessarily going to have access to other people because of various reasons. People have got their own lives and can't be on call 24/7. So you've got to be able to make yourself safe, or at least be able to contribute to your own safety and not be an emotional threat or hurricane to other people. And that's not to say that if you're not the most stable person in the world, that you can't reach out and have friends and have a support system. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is do the work on yourself so that you are not completely dependent on the people around you. Now, it can be really tough because a lot of us have been conditioned to believe that we don't have the power to do that. And when you believe that, you act accordingly. And it tends to be, again, one of those self-fulfilling prophecies. Oh, this Subaru. I know this Subaru and I don't like this Subaru. Oh, no. I really don't like this Subaru. They are very rude, especially early in the morning. Right, so the feeling of helplessness. That feeling of helplessness is often learned. and it's often conditioned in by emotional abusers, because they don't want you to feel empowered, because that messes with their agenda. They can't control you if you feel empowered. So, making yourself safe, feeling helpless. How do you untangle those knots? Because I could tell you, at one point in time, for a long time, I felt like I absolutely had no power to make myself safe. I felt like I didn't have choices. I felt like I had to put up with whatever the abuser decided to say or do, because I was dependent on them for my survival. I was made to believe, I couldn't work, I couldn't do this, couldn't do that, couldn't do a lot of things for myself. I didn't have options. I didn't have any control. So that led to, me being very, very distraught and acting accordingly, which, is really not the healthiest thing in the world. So, learn helplessness, right? How do you overcome that? Little bit by little bit. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Oof, bro. You don't take on the whole thing all at once. Especially when you're in that really disempowered state. What you do is you start with the small choices that you have, If you have a choice of what to eat for breakfast, right? Are you going to have oatmeal or are you going to have eggs? Maybe you want to have both. Whatever. Okay, fine. Cool. You have that choice. Practice making that choice. Practice recognizing what choices you have in your life. Start small. It can be really, really overwhelming to try to take control of your life in your inner world. Be able to see your choices and act on them. Especially if you are trying to do everything at once. It's not what I would recommend trying. So start small. Work your way up to it. Bro. Oh, those are some bright lights. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Oh. Ah. Ow. Man. Why? People. Oh. Unnecessary. Totally uncalled for. Start with those small choices. What are you going to eat? What are you going to say in any given situation? Think about your words. Choose those words. Choose. Be intentional about the choices that you do make. Think about what you're doing. Don't overthink it. That could be easier said than done, especially if you've been trained in insecurity to second guess yourself all the time. I did that yesterday on one of my exams and got like 5 questions wrong because of it. I initially had them right, but I went back and second guessed myself. So, that's another learned behavior, and it's one that obviously I've still got a little bit of work to do on that one. So, find the little choices. Where are they? How are you approaching them? Are you approaching life as, it doesn't matter what I do because everything's all predetermined, I don't have any control? My dude, that is a very helpless feeling. And it's not, you're not going to get anywhere where you want to be in life that way. the only way you're going to get anywhere you want to be is, take life by the horns. And I'm going to tell you, I am very well aware that is much easier said than done when you're coming from a place of learned helplessness. So again, start small. What are the things that are in your control? Well, I'll tell you this, big fat hint. Does not have anything to do with controlling other people, because you can't. I mean, maybe you can influence them, maybe you can, I don't know, blackmail them or whatever, but that's not what we're talking about. True control is being able to control yourself. It's being able to, acknowledge what you feel, acknowledge the way that you are responding to something, and choosing, or acknowledge how you're emotionally reacting, and choosing how to respond to that. If you're just going through the motions, literally, seriously, consciously choose. Make at least one conscious choice per day. What do I mean by that? Recognize the choice that you have. You have a choice. If you wake up to an alarm, you have a choice to get up to that alarm when it goes off, or you have a choice to hit snooze. Recognize that choice. A lot of us have been trained to believe that we can't make choices. I ended up being extremely indecisive because I was told that I could not make good choices. That I was incapable. And I lived by that belief for a long time. And I ended up allowing the abuser to speak for me, make all of my choices for me, and just generally dictate how I existed. Because he had gotten me to believe that I couldn't. I was not capable of doing that for myself. And I'll tell you what, that is a load of hogwash. 100%. So if anybody is making you doubt yourself, quit giving them the keys to the castle. Quit allowing them to dictate what you believe about yourself. And the way you do that is start considering the source. If they're lying to you about anything, consider the source. Because when you lie to me about something, everything else you do, everything else you say is suspect. AKA, you have lost your credibility. So don't allow somebody who has totally lost their credibility to dictate your reality and what you believe. Consider the source. So to sum it up, start recognizing where your choices are. If you're struggling to make those choices, just start with recognizing those choices, where they're at. So consider the source too of your insecurities, of your fears, of your beliefs and your thoughts about yourself. Get inside your own head, see where that stuff is coming from, because if it's coming from a source that cannot be trusted, why are you believing it? Why are you internalizing it? That's a perfectly valid question, and I want you to ask it. So, these are such narrow parking spaces, I don't like them. And this car is trying to park a yacht. I love it, but sometimes. Okay, all right. good enough. All right, guys, have a great day.